So just a quick end of day recap here on ES. One of the main watches that we had for today was simply watching the reaction versus this 4350 area. And as a reminder, the significance of that level is that it was the prior breakout point. We do have a pretty massive zone here in that 4350 zone. You can see late September last year, tested, denied. December last year, tested, denied. And then February of this year, tested, denied. From there, price builds a very, very tight range. This is typical Wyckoff accumulation. Breaks out, resulting in that summer rally. Right? Nice summer rally. So from there, we pull back. And that kind of gives you the context as to the significance of this level. It's basically a retest of the prior breakout point. Part of why we saw, some of that buying step in today. If you are short during this recent downturn, where is the first place you're going to be wanting to cover? It's kind of the question we have to ask if you're thinking long or you're thinking, where should I start to buy this? It's like, well, where are these shorts going to start to cover? Where are they losing interest on this trade? From there, we have the 200 MA directly below. So that gets us into today, where we come into the day saying, what's the reaction going to be versus 4350 versus that prior day low area? Can sellers continue here, or are we going to have some buying interest? I noted this morning in the pre-market live, we do have that high volume node right here, right? That's going to be from your early June. And so generally speaking, these big volume nodes are going to be big levels of interest that you want to be paying attention to. Below that, we start to get into this, what I call a volume void, right? Not a lot of volume here. And basically what that means, if you're unfamiliar, price can move quickly through these areas. So if that were to happen, we do have the 200 MA right there. However, today did defend that 4350. We did have a couple of really good opportunities initially off of the open. What I do like to see is situations where we come into the open and you have some type of reversal candle right ahead of the open, right? We had a 30-minute hammer right ahead of the open. That pretty much tells us that, all right, most likely this is going to bounce off the open. 4350 right there, hammer candle on the 30-minute. We've got a good chance at trying along into that pre-market structure and potentially up into 4370, which was our upside level of interest. So now trading up into that 4370 again, a lot of churn here this afternoon. So pretty much what I want to see for tomorrow is essentially whether or not buyers can show some continuation of this daily hammer right here. Pretty clear daily hammer. And so for tomorrow, I'll just be looking at the prior day high, which was technically the overnight high, 4380. Right through here. You can see that overnight high right through there. So if we can break that 4380 for tomorrow, I'll be looking for continuation up into, let's check the near-term structure. Well, we have the 4400. That's going to be a big psychological level. So 4400, then up into our 4420. All right, from there you start to get into all this overnight action. This was like the gap following FOMC. So if we start to clear 4400, 4420, there's a good chance that the buyers, the bulls, are regaining control of this tape. For now, it is definitely a tape that is controlled by sellers, by the bears. So initial plays today were that long off the open, right? Talked about that one. You did have an opportunity here to get long versus VWAP in ES, that is the 2-hour trader framework. Beyond that, I didn't see a lot of activity that I was really interested in. We did have that retest of the 4350. Once again, those levels of interest are always going to be worth watching. If you're still trading at this point in the day, 90 minutes into the day, yeah, absolutely, is a good area to be assessing how this little consolidation here resolves. Gives you a tight area to get involved one way or another, right? Don't necessarily need to predict the direction. Just wait for that little structure to break. It's a long, makes a fresh session high. From there, it's just pure chop. I mean, look at this. This is still a decently wide range. So it's a 13, 14 point range. So you technically could trade it. That's not my kind of action to sit here and trade this range all day. So we pass on that. Personally. So for tomorrow, just looking for some buying interest, whether or not they can push through that 4380 up into 4400. Now, if you don't back adjust your charts, if we look at a chart that is not back adjusted, notice the difference here really quick. Yes, we have support. This is still daily support all through here. When I click the back adjust button, right? I talked about this in the weekly kickoff. So this is definitely for some index traders an area of support. I prefer to back adjust my charts. So I'm using this one, but that is definitely something you may want to toggle from time to time just to get an eye on what that other chart looks like. Now for individual names, we're looking at AFRM. This is a retest of prior breakout point, right? We pretty much nailed this long, at least the easy money through here following earnings. Now we're retesting that daily breakout point. So this is on watch for tomorrow. You do have daily hammer bar. I would like to see more volume on this. For now, it is just a technical setup. Maybe we'll have some news in the morning, upgrade or something like that. But there's a good technical setup we're going to be looking at. We have AMD. AMD is back on the swing watch into the 200 MA. That's pretty self-explanatory. Amazon with the relative strength observed this morning shows follow through during the actual session. And so for tomorrow, light volume today noted, but for tomorrow, we're looking at up and through 132, right? Quick gap fill play there. I also found shop, the 200 MA right through there, swing watch. And SE, this is probably one of the better ideas on watch. Looks like there was some news here. Don't know exactly what it was, but does not really matter. We're treating this as a second day trade. So as always with the second day, we're just going to be looking at that prior day high and that first day volume point of control, which aligns nicely with the psychological level there at 40 and kind of this range breakout point. Yeah. So this is kind of like what we like to see when you're looking at a stock that is sitting on, let's see, 52-week lows. Yep. Sitting on 52-week lows before we consider a long. You want that massive volume. We're trading at 400% daily average volume today. And so that's kind of the recap for the day. Got the individual names there. We have ES. Again, looking for some potential buying to continue from today's action. Now, remember, this near-term structure is still in a downtrend, right? If we look at it like this, if I get the marker out, it's going to bring all my other levels back. But look at this, right here, right here. And so we're still kind of stepping lower, right? Until we actually, pretty much until we break the 4,400. This is still a near-term downtrend, ideally up and through 4,420. You want to see that level break before we start getting more comfortable with the longs. And so stay nimble, stay tactical. Any questions? Any questions here? Post them in the chat. Let me know. CCJ, yeah, I've been seeing these. The CCJ has been strong. I've been seeing it every day. Let's see. Yeah, it's trending higher. I mean, this is a very strong stock. You have a big daily and weekly breakout. All right, now it's just pressing highs. Let's see, is this 52-week highs? Definitely. Not all-time highs. Not quite all-time highs, but definitely 52-week highs. Yeah, it's a long, right? It's definitely a long D-wall. You want to look at it above 41.7. Yeah, so basically tomorrow, look at today's high, right? 41.85. That's a valid breakout play. The issue that I have with this, if I would find one, would be that really this was a pullback trade, right? There's your pullback entry into the 21 MA, and then it's a long from there. And so a long up here is technically kind of late. Remember, with a breakout, we like a real structure, right? Do all through here, builds out a structure, and then breaks out. But currently, this is just a pullback and then the expected continuation of that move. Right, yeah, the uranium ETF, I believe, is URA. And yep, same thing, same sector. These stocks are crazy strong. So yeah, look at this. Actually looks a little better. Big base here. You may want to take a look at that D-wall. The liquidity may be better. I'm not sure. Double check your liquidity on both of these, URA and CCJ. But yeah, we may include this tomorrow if the liquidity is decent for just some continuation, right? But based on what I've seen with your NQ trades, I don't think you need to worry too much about CCJ or URA. Speaking of which, let's take a look at NQ. So NQ this morning, mentioned in the chat, we didn't cover it in the live, but mentioned in the chat, 14,800 key level. All right, 14,800, big psychological level right there. Look at the structure. Look at the structure, right? So they undercut it by a few points. Let's see, what's the low? Low was 14,804. Yeah, so they undercut it by about 20 points. A little look below. See what kind of stops we have down there. Grab them all up like Pac-Man. And then just launch it. Saw that initial move right here, right? Puke it. Immediately a solid long versus 14,800. Same thing in the morning. Right off the open. Long 14,800 into VWAP. First target. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Even this breakout right through here. Clean. So NQ is trading well. Absolutely. You got a 2-hour trader set up right there. This thing's looking good. I would look at for tomorrow. Obviously, we want 14,800 holding, but ideally we're looking at buyers coming in up through 950, up through 15K. You can treat this pretty much like a near-term range. Right through here. Right, near-term range. Big picture context is obviously near-term downtrend. Near-term downtrend, so... Got another range right through here. All right, breaks, range, breaks, range. And the question is, which way from here? And we are sitting on daily support. So until daily support breaks, I'm inclined to think that we could maybe see a relief bounce here, right? So, yeah, agreed. The buyers need to step in here. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, September seasonality is not working in favor of buying here. I don't know if you guys saw that chart. Definitely not in favor of the bulls. So that's why I say stay nimble, stay tactical. It's like, don't give back too much of your gains, especially on a long. Right? You're up 10 points on ES on a long. It's like, it's time to start raising those trails. It's time to protect that money. Don't give it back. So that's the index. NQ's looking good. We'll be on watch tomorrow as well. Potential bounce here. Any other questions? All good? All right, guys. Sweet. All right. Yeah, nice day. Nice day. Couple of very strong opportunities. And the game plan for tomorrow, again, pretty straightforward. I like to keep it as simple as possible, right? So, a couple of reference points, couple of pivots that we like, location over setup, and we take it from there. All right, guys. Have a good afternoon, and I will see you tomorrow. Later.